Welcome to our channel, Book by Book. Today, we're diving into a really influential book. You've probably heard of it. Robin Sharma's The 5 a.m. Club. Own your morning. Elevate your life. Our goal here is to really unpack the core ideas and give you, a practical guide, not just a summary.
Exactly. And the central idea is quite simple on the surface, but it's pretty radical too. Sharma basically says that grabbing that 5 a.m. hour gives you this incredible pocket of peace and control
Hmm.
before the world starts, pulling you in a million directions. Doing that puts you way ahead, psychologically speaking, of almost everyone else.
Yeah, and for anyone who hasn't read it, Sharma, who also wrote The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, another big one,
Yeah.
he doesn't just lay it out like a textbook. It's actually told as a story, a parable. You follow this artist who's kind of stuck, an entrepreneur who's totally burned out, and this eccentric billionaire mentor figure.
hmm And that story format is important. It really shows the why behind the methods, the emotional drive for change. It all supports the main point.
Yeah.
Your mornings really do shape your future. But, and this is crucial, it's not just about dragging yourself out of bed early. The real magic, the thing we need to dig into, is the specific framework Sharma provides. That's what turns waking up early into actual results.
Okay, so let's start right there with that foundation, owning the morning. Lesson 1 is carving out that time for yourself, mind, body, spirit, before all the distractions hit. But let me ask this straight away. Is 5 a.m. like a hard and fast rule? What if your life, your job, family, just doesn't allow for 5 a.m.? Does it all fall apart if you start at, say, 6?
That's such a key question.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people hear 5 a.m. and just tune out immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at what Sharma's really saying, the 5 a.m. time is a bit symbolic. The real principle, the non-negotiable part, is creating that period of solitude, uninterrupted solitude. So if your day means you need to start that deep work at 6:30 a.m. before the kids wake up, well, that becomes your victory hour.
Oh.
The core idea is securing that hour for yourself before the outside world takes over.
So it's more about winning that first battle of the day, establishing that you're in control, not just
Well,
reacting.
precisely. You see it with top performers, right?
Yeah.
Like Tim Cook at Apple getting up around 4:30. It's not about showing off. It's about finding that calm, that control, so he can think clearly before the chaos of running a giant company hits. That quiet time is the real asset.
Right. It reminds me of Sharma's analogy, the house foundation. If you spend that first hour strengthening your own foundation, your mind, body, emotions, then everything else you build on top, like your work, your relationships, it's just going to be more stable during the day.
Exactly. A shaky foundation means things will crack eventually. And speaking of solid structures, that brings us neatly to the absolute engine of this whole system, the thing that makes waking up early worthwhile, not just less sleep.
The 20-20-20 formula, the victory hour. So 1 hour, typically 5:00 a.m. to 6:00 a.m., broken down into 3 distinct 20-minute chunks.
And the order is really important. It's designed specifically to optimize, how your brain and body work together.
Okay, so block 1, move. 5:00 to 5:20 a.m. And it has to be intense movement, right? Not just stretching.
Yeah, intense. You need to get your heart rate up, break a sweat, really push through that morning grogginess. The goal is to flood your system with dopamine, serotonin, those feel-good, focus-enhancing chemicals.
So it's like a biological jump start.
Totally. You're getting oxygen to your brain, clearing out cortisol, that stress hormone that builds up overnight. You boost your mood, your energy right away. You're basically prepping your body for peak performance before you even ask your brain to think hard.
Makes sense. Then that energy flows into block 2. Reflect. 5:20 to 5:40 a.m. This is the mental and emotional part, like meditation, journaling, maybe prayer.
Exactly. If block 1 was outward, physical, this is inward. It's about finding clarity, reducing mental clutter, setting your intentions. Think about someone like Oprah, dedicating that early time to center herself. It helps process everything that comes her way. You're grounding yourself before the daily storm hits.
Okay, body activated, mind calmed. Then block 3, grow. 5:40 to 6:00 a.m. This is the learning part. Reading, studying, listening to something educational.
That's it. That completes the cycle. Activate the body, calm the mind and emotions, then nourish the intellect. And that specific flow, move, reflect, grow, is vital. If you just wake up and start reading, you miss the biological boost from moving, skip reflection, and you might not integrate what you learn effectively. It's like properly fueling and prepping your car before a really long journey. You need all the steps.
Right, you need the whole sequence. Okay, so that's the morning routine itself. But doing it once is easy. Doing it consistently, that's the challenge. Which brings us to habit formation and what Sharma calls the 4 interior empires. He's clear that just relying on willpower won't cut it long term.
No, not at all. Real change needs a deeper, more holistic approach. It's about working on your inner world. And he breaks this down into four empires. First is mindset. That's your psychology, your core beliefs, how you think. Second, heart set. This is your emotional life, your emotional health, gratitude, resilience.
Okay, mindset and heart set. I like that distinction. It's easy to just focus on thoughts, but unresolved emotional stuff, the heart set can really derail you.
Absolutely. Emotional intelligence is just as key as positive thinking. Then third is health set, your physical well-being, fitness, energy, vitality. And fourth, soul set, which is about your spirituality, your connection to purpose, that deeper sense of meaning.
Mindset, heart set, health set, soul set. Okay.
Yeah.
And building strength in all four relies on habit. Sharma talks about the 66-day minimum,
He
right?
does. Now, 66 days sounds specific
Yeah.
and maybe a bit long.
Yeah. Is that like scientifically exact
Right.
or more of a guideline?
It's more of a guideline based on some research representing an average time it takes for a new behavior to become automatic, to feel natural. The key takeaway isn't the exact number, 66, but the need for sustained effort over a significant period. And he breaks this period into three phases.
Okay. What are the phases?
Phase 1 is destruction, roughly days 1 to 22. This is the toughest bit. You're fighting old habits, facing serious resistance. You'll probably stumble.
Okay. Expect it to be hard.
hmm Phase 2 is installation, days 23 to 44, roughly.
Mhm.
Here, the new routine starts feeling a bit more normal, but it still takes conscious effort. You're actively building. And phase 3 is integration, days 45 to 66 and beyond. This is where it clicks. The habit becomes part of who you are. It feels weird not to do it.
Got it. So if you mess up on day 10, the point is not to give up, but to realize you're still in that destruction phase and push through. It's like Sharma's analogy of planting a tree, isn't it? All the early work is underground, invisible, building roots. The visible growth comes later.
Precisely. It takes time and persistence. And the persistence takes energy, which leads us to another really important concept, the twin cycles of elite performance.
Ah, yes. Key lesson 4. This felt quite counterintuitive to me at first. The idea that to sustain high performance, you have to prioritize deep recovery just as much as intense work or high excellence.
It really goes against that hustle culture mentality, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The idea that you have to grind constantly. Sharma argues the opposite. True peak performance comes from cycling. Intense, focused work periods, followed by equally intense periods of rest, sleep, real rejuvenation.
Like athletes do, someone like LeBron James invests heavily in recovery, sleep, nutrition, therapy, because he knows his performance depends on it.
Exactly. You can't just keep pushing without recharging. Sharma uses the analogy of a bow and arrow. You have to pull the bow back fully, that's the deep recovery, to launch the arrow with maximum force, that's high excellence.
So waking up at 5 a.m. but surviving on 5 hours sleep, that actually breaks the model. It leads to burnout, not optimization.
Right. The 5 a.m. club is about working smarter and having more energy, not just depleting yourself faster.
And that optimized state is supercharged by key lesson 5, leveraging solitude and focus in our crazy distracted world. That early hour is powerful because it's quiet.
That solitude is a massive advantage today. Total silence lets your mind get into that deep work state, that flow. Many creatives, like the writer Haruki Murakami, build their lives around that kind of intense early morning quiet time. They know its value.
Shami uses a smartphone analogy too, right?
Yeah, think of your brain like a smartphone. All day long, emails, notifications, demands, they're like apps draining the battery. The early morning hour is your chance to restart, clear the cache, fully recharge, optimize everything before the drain starts.
Okay, so you've used the victory hour to get charged up and focused. How do you carry that into the workday effectively? That's where key lesson 6 comes in, the 9-do, 9-do-1 rule.
Yes, this is about translating that personal mastery into tangible results in your work or projects. The rule itself is really straightforward. For the next 90 days, dedicate the first 90 minutes of your workday exclusively to your single most important project or task, your number one priority.
90 minutes, first thing. I love how direct that is. It forces you to prioritize immediately. It makes sure that your best energy, that peak focus you built from 5 a.m., goes straight to what matters most, instead of getting frittered away on emails or small stuff.
It's like eating the most nutritious part of your meal first, before you fill up on less important side dishes. You guarantee you're nourishing your biggest goals. The 5 a.m. routine gives you the energy. 90901 tells you exactly where to point it for maximum impact.
It connects the personal discipline to professional output. But Sharma takes it one step further, doesn't he? All this structure, all this productivity, it needs a purpose. Which brings us to key lesson 7, legacy and the importance of purpose.
Right. This is really the ultimate point Sharma makes. High performance, just for the sake of being productive, it's kind of empty. The whole 5 a.m. system is meant to be a vehicle, a tool to help you connect with your deeper mission, your why, to help you contribute something meaningful. You look at historical figures with incredible discipline, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, people like that, they weren't driven by just checking off tasks. They had this huge driving sense of purpose.
That makes sense. That connection between the daily discipline and a bigger why is what fuels you through the hard parts. Sharma uses a life as a book analogy, right? Productivity fills the pages day to day.
The purpose gives the whole story meaning. It makes the effort worthwhile and sustainable. It prevents burnout because you know why you're putting in the work.
Okay, wow. That's a lot to take in, but incredibly powerful stuff. Let's try to distill this down. What are the absolute key takeaways for listeners? Let's do a quick recap, like the top 5 lessons. 1. Wake up early, 5 a.m., or your personal solitude hour to unlock that focused peak state. 2. Use the 20-20-20 formula move, reflect, grow. That structure is key for the morning. 3. Ooh, be patient with habit building. Remember the 66-day minimum and the 3 phases. It takes time. 4. Apply the 90 or 91 rule. First 90 minutes of work on your #1 project. Focus your best energy. 5. And finally, connect it all to purpose. Productivity needs meaning to last.
Great summary. And to make it even more practical, maybe 3 immediate actions people could take, especially thinking about those first 66 days. First, be ruthless about limiting digital distractions, particularly in that first hour. Keep the phone out of the bedroom if you can. Protect the solitude.
Okay, that's a big one.
Second, really focus on the twin cycles, which means prioritizing sleep. If you're getting up at 5 a.m., you absolutely need to be aiming for bed much earlier, maybe around 9:30 p.m. Recovery is crucial.
Right, it's not about less sleep, it's about shifting it.
Exactly. And third, lean into that reflect block. Actively use journaling or gratitude practice. It really helps build that heart set, manage emotions, and ground you each day.
Fantastic. Protect the hour, prioritize sleep, practice reflection. Well, we really hope this summary of the 5 a.m. Club has given you some real clarity and practical steps you can use to, well, elevate your own life, as the title says.
And as you think about tomorrow morning, maybe consider that question from the book. Are you going to hit snooze and basically choose to stay the same? Or are you going to rise early and consciously step towards becoming your best self?
Powerful question to end on. If you found these lessons and this breakdown helpful, please do support the channel. Remember to subscribe to Book by Book for more summaries like this one, and share it with anyone you think might benefit. And please like this video. It really does help us keep creating this content for you. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on Book by Book.